Tēnā tātou, kua hui hui mai nei ki tēnei wāhanga ako pēr. Ko tāku te whakatu where Toi Tangata Hui, o tira te tuku I te rākau kōrero ki a koe Wiremu. Today we have Wiremu Sarich from the far north speaking to us about ngā taonga tākaro, traditional Māori games and pastimes. Wiremu lives with the proverbial philosophy, kia kawea tātou e te rehia. Let us be swept away by the pursuit of fun, leisure and entertainment. So kia tīmata, just he tikanga mo te whare nei, just make sure to keep mics off while he's sharing. Add any comments to the chat below and questions. And at the end, if we have time, I'll just pass those questions onto Wiremu. Apart from that, kai te tukumihi ki a koe e te tuakana, kua wātea tōra kia tukui ngā mātauranga ki a mātau. Ai, nō reira, ka tuku te rākau kōrero ki a koe Wiremu.
Kawea. Kia aru mā tātou nei, mai tikara, me te mata tātou I te ngā whakapungamiti ki te runga rawa nei, nā te kore, nā te pōnana, I te ai haka tīna nō reira, me huri tātou kia ia. Pūpua whakaite mana arangi nui, arangi rua, arangi tāhua, tāhua nuku, tāhua rangi, he putu ki te whea o ki tāo mārama ti, hei wā mupi ora. Mauri ngā mi kia koutou ki te wāhi ngaro, kia koutou ko mine ki te pō. Ma koutou tā, ma mātou tā, mō reira ti, hei mauki ora. Kia tātou, e nō pehi anei raro tēnei ngangara, kina nei ko kua mai kia tātou katoa, munga tēnei mutu ngā whānau no taumahana, ki ngā tini tangata, e kore tai te poroporo aki ngā tūpapaku ruti ngā marama e toru nei, tēnei te mi. Kauri kia tātou te mungoara, tēnā koutou, āki aru mai tātou. Mauri ora whānau, ka Wiremu Sarich tēnei, ko hoki anga iho, hoki anga ake. Born and bred in South Auckland, spent a lot of time, spent the last 10 years pretty much, just all I do is taonga tākaro, so I just play all day, every day. When I'm not playing, I'm lying down thinking about playing. So just I'm going to take this opportunity to share some of my experiences and like vast amounts of knowledge that I've picked up over the years just playing. I put a lot of money in play. I believe play is the perfect way to engage with rangatahi in particular, but actually whānau. Just in general, our marae, our whole communities. I think we need to spend a lot more time in that space, especially now. If COVID hasn't taught us anything, it should teach us that spending time together is a good thing. And being bored is not actually being bored, you're just being boring. You have to, if your play mind is active and you're ready to rock and roll, it won't be hard for you to conjure up something else to do, something new to do. And it's kind of one of the best mediums, I believe, for transmittance of knowledge. So I'm just going to pick up on, I've been listening in to some of the workshops this morning with Jessica in them, and a couple of things popped up on there that have actually come into my space over the last couple of weeks or so anyway. So a couple of things I'm going to have a look at is Mātauranga. I joined a webinar with Brother Raimona, tōkana tāna in Rotorua. He spoke about Mātauranga how they would store and transfer knowledge in different forms. So obviously through haka, waiata, raurako, all the different disciplines, karakia, pūrako, and play is definitely a major part in that, because it's the easiest way to actually get lots of knowledge in doorways into bigger spaces. So yeah, I definitely do live by the philosophy of kia kawea tātou te rehia, e te hariko e te mataraha, but let us be carried away in the pursuits of pleasure, leisure, joy, fun times with an open heart and an open mind. And especially like nowadays, like I said, it's kind of something, in fact, I've been employed for the last 9 years, pretty much showing whānau how to do it is a little bit crazy to my mind. I think we all need to revisit our childhoods and get back to that play space. So adults need to do it too, so we can show the kids how good it is. I can't help but crack up when I hear my kids or my nieces and nephews talk about, oh, remember when we were young, we would play these games and they're thinking that they're hearty. And then I think about the stuff we did when we were kids, and you have no idea, children, about what freedom really is, being able to just go out and roam and explore your whole environment. You know, as a young boy, we play in like I grew up in South Auckland, Otara. But we didn't get fed a lot of traditional games, but the concepts and everything that I know that I've utilized over the years to help me to share my knowledge through the games. I realized as a kid that my grandparents and actually my whole family, just in general, had all these cool little devices and tools that they used to help share with them. So I'm going to kick off with just a couple of games because if we're here to play, we've got to get some play going on. Okay, so we're going to have a look at our Mātakitaki guys. So some who joined me on one of the other sessions I've done on here, you would have learned the game called Mātakitaki. I'm actually going to give you something because I think it's important when we're sharing knowledge and tools that it has to be accessible. Ruben Taipari from the Tuakanas up here a couple of weeks ago had this really cool post around tohunga. He posted up tohunga, and he has the explanation for tohunga as somebody who's got enough knowledge in their particular field that they can create solutions from those knowledge systems, which I think is just smack on. No point telling me your tohunga if you can't actually make it accessible to me, my kids and my family. Then it's all good to be able to stand up and have some fancy kōrero, but if I can't actually engage with it at home with myself in particular, and then find ways to share that, then what's the point? You're just talking over my head, and plenty of scientists have got the wrap around that stuff. So I think that's a fantastic analogy of what a tohunga is. Somebody who understands their knowledge system so well, they can create solutions for their whānau and their communities. And I think that's a perfect place. So with that in mind, with that thinking in mind, obviously you need to be able to disseminate something. So I'm going to give us just a quick little tutu on some stuff I've been playing around with. I've been doing this stuff so long, I literally dream up games where people are talking and I can see little things, ideas go off in my head. We'll explore a little bit later where we're going to actually create a game amongst ourselves, because like I said, it needs to be able to transfer to followers at home. And we can put up games and I can show you instructions for games and stuff like that, but that's kind of pointless, because then you put that resource away, then you're not engaged with it, and you don't realize that ultimately all the play exists within you, and all the whakapapa and all of the knowledge systems actually sit within you, regardless of what level you're at. It's just about entering that play space to understand that you don't have to be too heavy. I mean, we're constantly in heavy spaces as Te Ao Māori, because we're fighting for Te Reo, we're trying to get our marae up there, we're battling health and education, all these things. So we're constantly bombarded by heavy lifting. And so we need to obviously create spaces where we just let that stuff fly to the side and return to our youth and just have a bit of fun and let that stuff fly out the window, So the whare rehia or whare tāpiri, as Charles Rural, something kaupapa that he's been involved with for years, creating spaces within communities where we can just come together and be ourselves and share what we have, share our talents, share our knowledge, all in a place of space of play and joy, so that we're not weighed down by the stuff. So we can get together and have a bit of a cackle about this COVID and the different crazy things that are kind of going on in it, so that we're not weighed down by it, and then we can find solutions inside of that space, and then of course go back and put up the good fight that we're already good at. So I've been tutoring around with lots of I've been seeing a few fellas been putting up posts with whai. Hauiti Hakup has been doing some wānangas around that. I know Sister Nikki's been getting into that, and Brother Nate down in Wellington. I've been watching his posts and they've been popping up. Whai is one of the traditional games I got taught as a kid, and I've retained quite a few of those ones, because as kids you want to show Dad you can whip his butt at something, because it isn't in running and isn't in something physical. So being able to catch him out in something, and that's, I think, the beauty of play, is that it levels everybody, because I've always been competitive in the sense that I don't like losing. So if you beat me at one thing, I'm just going to find another thing that I can get you at. So if I'm talking to some dude and he's got some science knowledge, well, get in the boxing ring and I'll whoop your butt. I'm going to find something that I can beat you at. If you can beat me in there like David Tuitt, well, then I can beat you in the math room, which I actually done as a kid in college. So the types of things that I do, and I think that just engaging and understanding that you got your own awesomeness and that you can share that stuff. Obviously, you can be competitive, but it's actually better to just be sharing and just growing within yourself. So with that in mind, obviously with whai, you're going to have good control over your fingers and your mati. And of course, kōrero is a big kaupapa going on at the moment. So I was tutoring around with it. I've been looking into roto roto or sign language, because that's definitely another form of reo. And then, of course, I just started tutoring with how they have the alphabet. So they got A, E, I, O, U on our fingers, right? So I just kind of modified that. This is why I want to share this with you, because you can modify anything. Because once you put your thoughts on top of something, or your value systems, your whakapapa, or your chosen kōrero to any game or any activity, you're going to end up, it's going to start twisting and become more relevant to this knowledge transfer that I'm talking about, because you're going to decide what that is. So if we look at our hands, just go our thumb, it's going to be, instead of A, E, I, O, U, like I've seen it done in Te Reo, obviously A, E, O, U, but then Whai Rose, it's got A, Io, E, O, E, U. He's had a different way of looking at the vowels. I've been doing some mahi with been taking part in some whānaugas with Ngāti and with Brother Beasley, and he gave me this cool one. And while he was doing it, like I said, I'm hearing kōrero, and then I can sort of see things popping up. So he went I, O, E, A, U, I, O, E, A, U, I, O, E, O, I, O, E, O. Okay, so because we've only got a handful of phonics, right? And I'm taking from the sign language page how they basically create the alphabet, but we don't have as many signs. So I, O, E, O, I, O, E, A, U, I, O, E, O. So there's our vowels, and you can do it on your left hand, your right hand. That's the beauty of it. You can switch it backwards and forwards. Just think of that as the alphabet. So with the sign for, so everyone who knows that waiata, ahaka mana para, taonga wha, ka pai. So if we just take that simple, those basically all the consonants that we've got, and we can use all of the normal symbols that the Pākehā use for this to do exactly the same thing. So in sign language, this is H. Okay, so I'm just going to use one finger to do the same thing. So ha. Okay, this is ka. The K is nothing more than putting your knuckle against one of your fingers. So like I said, I'm just taking, I'm just modifying some of the stuff that goes. So we've got A, Ha, Ka. M is signaled with 3 fingers on the palm. We're just going to do it on the syllable. Ma, 2 fingers is Na. Haka mana. Pa is simple. So pa is just this. P, ka, pa, haka. Ta is simple. Ta is just T. Ta. Wa is done like this, but I'm going to use, I'm just going to take, like I said, I'm just breaking it down to 1 finger, because like I said, I'm modifying that same space. Wa, this is going to be our W. Wa, and we know it's wa because I'm doing it on the, I'm sorry, on E. Sorry, I better do that right, because wa R's down here. I'm doing it wrong. E, O, E, O. So it's A, Ha, Ka, Ma, Na, Wa, Na. So for Na, NG, I'm just hooking you're going to hook the finger. Na. And then for the fa, I'm just going to do that. Okay? And that's all we basically actually need to do our entire alphabet. Ka pai? So we're going to go again. A. So if you point to the tip, and I'm saying the syllable, the vowel, sorry. So A, Ha, Ka, Ma, Na, Wa, Na, Fa. So what comes next, guys? E, he, ke, me. Right? And A, or E, O, E, O. E, he, ke, me, ne, pe, re. So for the re, just gonna, I missed that one. Re, just that one. Re, nge, fe. Nge, fe. Ka pai, o hoko mo. I, o, ho, ko, mo, no, wo, ngo, wo, ro, ngo, fo. Ka pai? I, hi, ki, mi. So I, hi, ki, mi, ni, we, ri, pi, nge, fi. Ka pai? So, obviously, you just do that to each one of the fingers. Ka pai? Now, if we were just to take this way and play, this is what's fantastic about it, because you can do a wānanga with yourself, and then, of course, if you spend enough time playing with your kids or playing with somebody else and they're getting it, you can start speaking words. So, whakarongo, check out how easy it is to do whakarongo. So, we've got our I over here, wha, because it's a WH happening on the wha, ka, then we need ro, and then ngo. Ka pai? So whakarongo, just like with our fingers, just playing with our hands, simple as wha, ka, ro, ngo. Ka pai? So now you got all these brain gymnastics going on. You're going to be using your hands, right? Play with that. That's enough information there. That little thing should get you in a little wānanga for a whole long time, and you can start playing with that space. Ka pai? Play with that space, because as you're playing with, you're going to discover things. So, for instance, can I do whakarongo without going one finger at a time? Well, I already know. Wha, ka. I have to split the fingers there. Wha, ka, rongo. Ka pai? So whakarongo. Or how about this? Wha, ka, rongo. Marama? So you don't have to get hung up on figuring out. So with sign language, the beauty of sign language, it doesn't follow an alphabet. It doesn't follow the same rules as spoken word. They literally create shapes and sounds. Now, our tupuna spend a lot of time in the stuff. Roto is actually a definite thing back in the day. With this simple activity, like I said, you take your weeks to decipher this and now start speaking at real-time space. So I'm going to do my name. All do my name. My name is Wiremu. So how do you do Wiremu? Ka pai? We, re, mu. Ka pai? We, re, mu. We, re, mu. Ka pai? So I'm looking at the screen now and I can see Tia Ho Mai. Kia ora pada, just turned away from the screen. So we're going to do Tia Ho Mai's thing. Have a go at home and try out. Actually, on my screen, I've got Anne, on the names, I've got Anne Dill, I got Tia Homo, and I've got Te Hene Ngaro Tuti. I can't see the full name. But can you guys come off mute? Or can we unmute them?
Kia ora. Tēnā koutou.
Kia ora whānau. See, so the whole point of play is that we end up sharing stuff. Right, and so I'm not just talking to myself. You need to get some interaction going on, and that's going to help feed me energy. And then, of course, they're going to pop me off, because that's the whole point of play. You want to excite the kids, get them into a certain space, especially if you're a hyper kid like myself. You're that ADHD problem going on. Well, you need to burn my energy down before you even get a chance to drop a knowledge bomb in on me. And then you've got literally 5 minutes, probably 3, to get that done. And then I'm out the gate. I'm gone again. My brain is taken off to wherever I really want to be, which isn't in some boring room, sitting down looking at a blackboard or something like that. Okay, so you want to catch those kids. You have to think outside the box, because it just won't work. And what happens? We get pushed into a corner, get grilled all the time, and so we have negative experiences with learning. Right? And that transfers into my long-term life. Right? I'm actually love teaching. I'm an excellent learner, but I didn't fit inside the school system, so I had crap experiences there. That's happening to, I'm particularly got a heart for young Māori Pacific Island brothers, brown skin brothers who are going through this stuff. So could we go, Te Hene Ngaro, if you could lead us through just what you understand with what you got now, can you just, we do your name and we'll all follow along. Kia ora whānau. Hey.
So got, is it Te?
Te, yep.
Yeah.
He.
Oh.
He. H is just a swipe. He.
He.
Ne.
Oh.
Ngā.
How do you do it?
And then ro. Yeah, ngā, ro. So I'll go through one more time, guys. Sorry, I'll go back again so we can just do the consonants. Like I said, there's only a few of them for us to get through. Okay. Oh, hold on a second. We'll push big fat fingers got in the way. So we're going to go back to a. So just go a, ha. H is the swap. Ha, ka, ma, Ma. 3 fingers. Na. Wa. Ra. Pa. Na. Fa. Did I even get that in the right order? So we can do simple kupu like iri, like this is how I actually put this all fell for me. Ngāti Rongo was speaking to us about iri, oro, ere, ara, and uru. And my little brain went, oh, iri, oro, ere, ara, uru. Ka pai? So that was my way of expressing that. Iri, ere, ara, uru. Ka pai? And all he did was went through the vowels. Like I said, he gave me that order around io, e, au. Io, e, au. Ka pai? And then ri, like I said, I already knew the ri was there. So iri, oro, ere, ara, uru. Ka pai? And then so that's how I felt, that's how it came to me. I got the idea, the concept came, and then I just went and explored how could I do all these other bits and pieces. So all I did was play with some knowledge some new knowledge I picked up on, literally just played with it and figured how can I, there's something in there, what can I do with it? So we're gonna go one more time, guys. A, ha, ka, ma, na, wa, ra, ta, wa, na, fa. I actually played with this for a little while, so I got it pretty much up to speed where I could go, aha, come on, para, ta, wa, na, fa. So that's your mission for the rest of the day, guys. You should be able to go. Ka pai? You can get it up to speed, but like I said, there's now a learning curve. Okay, so within any taonga tākaro, guys, you're going to have there's a couple of things I always share with engaging with taonga tākaro is well, just say
Connections in the brain.
Yeah, so within any taonga tākaro, you're always going to find little kurahunas, little hidden knowledge systems. Now there's the hurakunas that are built into the game. Okay, so different activities will have different knowledge systems stored inside it. So you might teach your kids simply this. Ka pai, a, I, o, e, o. One day you might just do that. The next day you want to get the ha, so you go ha, he, ho, hu. Ka pai, ha, he, ho, hu. So you're going to get all this coordination going on. The beauty of working with our mati and our fingers, because we is the amount of neural pathways that are going to get opened up, engaging with these things. There's more technology in my body, in my brain to do this, to just do this one simple thing. Then that's greater than the technology it takes to put a rocket into space, guys. True story. Okay, technology, the amount of technology required for me to do this with my finger is the same amount of knowledge you need to get a rocket up into space. Ka pai? So if we're going to engage with all of them and we start getting good at how that works, you're just going to open up lots of neural pathways. Okay? Our tupuna definitely had a lot of understanding around te whare o rua te pukimana. So all our different roros, all the different ways our thinking and our minds and stuff like that work. Okay? You need ways to disseminate that knowledge. These are the types of things they will do. Ka pai? Does everyone get that? Cool little activity. Like I said, go play with it for a little while. Don't worry if you forget it. Go online for the sign language. Go onto the New Zealand Sign Language page. And like I said, they just do it like this. So they do M. So they go A, E, I, O, U. Just remember, I'm not doing it to the hand. So there's symbols that are happening on the hand. I'm just doing it to the finger, and we only need to do it. I think it's like 7 or 8 consonants that we only need to know, and 2 diphthongs. I learned that whilst investigating it. Diphthong is just the NG and the WH. See, you learn new things all the time, panic. So be a diphthong and don't get some diphthongs going on. Ka pai? So that's how simple it is to engage with play and how to get things excited. Now, if you start walking around like I do, where you're looking for this stuff constantly, you're automatically going to open up a whole new world. And from there on out, you're just trying to introduce other knowledge system. I just want to make sure I'm not going to break down. Am I still coming through all clear here, guys?
Yeah.
Early out. Just kind of, I belong outdoors because I got a lot of bloody energy. And when I'm clustered inside four walls, literally boxes me in. So I need to get outside so I can release some of them. I'm getting a bit excited. My darling will be testament to that. I fill up the room real quick with my energy, especially once I get excited about things. Kia ora. Ka pai. So that's just engaging with our body, just starting with our mati-matis. Okay, we can do stuff like that all throughout the body. Ka pai. I'm going to just give you a, we're going to go through it once so I can talk to this kurahuna stuff. So we're going to do a game called mati-mati. It's very simple. When I say mati-mati, everybody claps. Mati-mati, mati-mati, mati-mati. Ka pai. This is tahi mati-mati, guys. Because I'm aware of time, I'm going to just shoot straight through it so I can get to the point. Tahi mati-mati, rua mati-mati, right thumb, left palm. Toru mati-mati. Wha mati-mati. Rima mati-mati. Right thumb in between middle and index finger. Ono mati-mati. Fitu mati-mati, left thumb, right palm. Iwa mati-mati. Awari mati-mati. Iwa mati-mati. And piro mati-mati. Now I saw that game inside of Alison Best's book, Games and Pastimes of the Māori. Now inside there, it was actually written, it's different. So in there, he repeats some of the signals. But when I went to play with kids got confused and said, how could that be 1 and 7? How can tahi mati-mati be the same as ono and then rua is the same as fitu? So all I did was switch things up because, like I said, we need to share. And if I'm not open to their learning and they're sharing with me, then I'm giving them closed circuit learning. Ka pai? That's no good. So what philosophy I always flow by is ako atu, ako mai. Reciprocal learning. I'm learning from you as you're learning from me. And if that's not happening, there's a problem with our relationship, right? So if I'm playing with the kids, no, it's like this, it's like this, it's like this. They hear that all day long. They don't really need to hear that from me, especially the guy rolling through claiming to be Mr. Joy Joyce and getting hung up because you can't do it the way I want you to do it. So what I do is I'm learning from them, and I just learned how to create another way to get the same message across. Ka pai? So we're going to go through again. Mati-mati, mati-mati, tahi mati-mati, rua mati-mati, toru mati-mati, wha mati-mati, rima mati-mati, ono mati-mati, petu mati-mati, waru mati-mati, iwa mati-mati, piro mati-mati. Ka pai, guys? Now, inside every game, when you're engaging, you want to have your intent, right? So your heart needs to be right, what you're trying to get across, okay? My grandfather would always say, understanding is the job of the listener. The speaker's job is to be clear about what they're trying to say, right? Then the next stage has to be ako atu, ako mai. So if I say, do it like this, do this, and you do that, well, I need to change what I'm saying because clearly you don't understand what I'm saying, okay? And so then I have to clarify, it's your right thumb going on top of your left palm, okay? So you're going to change my instruction to suit what's happening with the energy, with whoever I'm with, right? As opposed to, you're doing it wrong, you're doing it wrong, you're doing it wrong. We get enough of that no matter where we are in life. So kids, it doesn't go away. It happens all the way into adult. Get used to it. Ka pai? And so within any game, they're going to have what we call kurahunas, ka pai, or little hidden knowledge system. So I've been doing this game with a bunch of kids. Just follow me, guys. This is our form of rota rota, ka pai. So obviously you can just mimic the hands. Ka pai. So rota rota is actually a higher form of communication because with hand signals and stuff, you can actually get a lot of information across in a really quick time. For instance, what does this mean? Everybody understands what that means. What does this mean? Ka pai? We're absolutely brilliant at picking up on body language and signals. The human brain is just developed for it. They know within communication, the spoken word is actually only something like 30–40% of what you actually learn through communication. Most of it's through body language, wairua, and what energy is going on. So you're going to have some good energies going on. Okay, so eventually a kid's going to come up to me, because if I teach a baby or a young one how to do this, eventually, if you've done it right, a question should pop up. Does anybody have a question about this? Like, what the hell is this? Okay, so eventually the kid's going to go, what is that, Mako? What is rua mati mati? And then you can go, now that opens the door because you've kind of preloaded them through play, through games. You're teaching them whakapapa and you're giving them different tools to work with so that later on, you've got an access point and you don't have to start them from step one. They actually have an entry point. They at least got the coordination to get their hands to come together. If I go mati mati and this stuff starts happening, well, I've got some work to do with that particular crew. Ka pai? And if I keep saying right thumb and the left thumb keeps going on, well, they've definitely got some work to do with, you know what I mean? I've got visual cues because I'm observing what's happening. I got visual cues on how I need to shift my kōrero to get them on the same page as me and actually have my ideas come across as clearly as I possibly can. So if we look at them, tahi mati mati, okay, this will represent the seed, rua mati mati, the first sprouts, just tagging on to Parakore's kōrero from this morning's guest speaker with Jessica and them, Parakore, okay, so let's talk about seeds. Now, toru, it's going to start breaking through the ground. Wha, it's come up, the first sprouting's coming through, the first stalks come up. Ka pai, wha, rima, the first leaf and the first shoots on top are going to come through. Ono, it's going to start taking form. It's going to get an ahua shape. Ka hata make a ahua ai, ne? Whetū, whetū represents the pāmotomoto or the leaves, like the ones you can see on the trees at the back. Ka pai, we're going to go back to rua. Rua is looking at the root system. So when we put our seedlings in, you can check the health of that growth is going to be doing right by checking that root system is working well. If you pull up your tāpapa and your kumara shoots aren't looking healthy, probably that's not going to be a healthy fruit to come out of that one. Ka pai? So when we get to this growth, state of growth, where we can't look at the roots anymore, we can take a look at the top of the tree and figure out, there we go, boom. I can expect the health of that and know that that's going to be a cool little hui when he comes along. Ka pai? Case in point. And then, of course, it would have had the first shoot, and then that's it, that leaf, that's that fifth one, sorry, going to get its little shoots, and then, of course, it's going to take form. It's going to have a shape because our juvenile trees, as they grow bigger, they sometimes change their ahua. Ka pai? So now you can definitely see where we're at. Get to whetū. It's now going to have growth up on the top that we can check on for its health, on how it's doing under the ground. If it's brown up there, is the soil doing well? Probably not. Or there's something down there that's there's something happening under the soil. This nutrition or whatever is not making it into it. So over in Whangarei, I'm just pop inside because they've got a truck coming past. Up in Whangarei, there's a piece of land over there with some tōtara growing, and they've got giant cracks inside the trees, and they've grown up and they've actually got these gaping big gaps in them. And one of the ladies asked the kaumata, what is that? And he says, a tohu. What type of tohu is it? Thinking that is probably some sign from God. So there's something missing in the soil and that tree missing nutrients, and that's why trunk is splitting, because there's something within its earlier growth that's been neglected. And of course, it can't grow. It grew big and strong, but there was a default. It had a virus inside it. So just trying to make that stuff practical. Then we go to waru. Okay, fully grown tree. It's fully grown, ready to produce fruits. Iwa, it produces the fruits, and piro just symbolizes us sharing out those fruits. So inside the game, I would just teach that as just a hand game for kids to play. Right? We can have little challenges. I've got on my screen now, I've got Haley, Tiaho, you're still there, brother, and Marissa Penne, you're on my screen, so you're playing, whether you like it or not. I'm just going to call out one of the mati-matis, and just as fast as you can get to it, and then I'll come up and reveal where we're at. So you can remember ono mati-mati, ono. Kia ora. Where's those hands, Marissa? You got a beautiful smile. I want to see those hands. Okay. Piro mati mati. Piro. Sharing out the fruits. Oh, she's run away and Anne's popped up on my screen. And you're in. Can't fight. So, hands behind the back, and I'll get you guys to race, and I'll tell you who won. Can't fight. Toru matamati. Yeah. Not quite, brother. Not quite. That's far. Tahi, rua, toru. Can't fight. Toru. See this. Okay, guys, the whole point of this isn't for me to ramble along and catch you guys up. Just wanted to share how they hide the knowledge systems in them, okay? So some of the games have got them built into them. The truest kurahuna that you're really looking for, which is why it's important that you follow a tikanga as we're trying to disseminate the knowledge. Step one, make sure that my heart's true to what I'm trying to do. Okay? Your intention has to be authentic. My intention is to share something with you and learn, right? To share learning, that sharing and that learning, I want it to happen backwards and forwards. I want to learn from you as you're learning from me. Okay? Out from there, you're going to have to observe, because only through observation I'm going to get whether or not you're catching on or not. Inside of each of the games, there's going to be a kurahuna. The true kurahuna I'm looking for is that cheeky little Māori boy. That's me. I don't put my hand up to answer no questions. You ask the question and I'll scream it up. I'll tell you the answer even if you don't want to hear it from me. And go by, but we get shut down because we answer the question, but not in the way they want us to do it. Okay? That's just hoha and dumb for fellows like me, because we're just going to get shut down over and over and over again. If I got it right, what you can do is pull me to the side a little bit later and go, dude. Next time, could you just do it in sign language at the back of the room, and that way other cars don't have to get interrupted. You need to find other ways to cut us off that don't actually takahia our mana. And once we have that, what I'm looking for is a cheeky little Māori boy, the little Maui and everyone that comes up with a solution outside of that extends beyond what I was even trying to bring across. Ka pai? So, for instance, if I do this and the kid goes, that's not a seed. Seeds look like this, matua. Because then they're going to break open and spread. Am I going to argue with that kid? How to know? Aroha mai, bro. Tahi mati mati. You let it happen, because he's now revealing the hidden knowledge and the hidden systems inside of him. And if I can get at the inside of the people I'm trying to share with, if I can get at your heart and your mind, that is going to help me grow exponentially. Trust me, I've been doing it for 9 years straight. And I get more from the kids. I learned more from kids than any amount. You can read all the books in the world, guys. It don't mean nothing if you can't put it on the ground. It doesn't, I don't care, like I said earlier with that tohungatanga, if I can't convert that into knowledge that I can share, put kai on your plate, what's the goddamn point? I can know everything in the world. If I can't get it on your plate, and I have to be able to, especially with play, it has to be able to get to everybody's plate. So that means from Pepe all the way through to Kaumātua. Trust me, I've got kai. I can sit down with Papa Ririata, and I got kai for him as well. I know, because I've sat down and had a kai with him, and he goes, "Wow, boy, that's it." I only got little Brussels sprouts to share with him. He's obviously got the whole goddamn mara, but I have something I can share with him, and I can open doorways for him as well, if he's open to it, and he definitely is open to those spaces. Okay? And I think it's important that when we're engaging with Mātauranga Māori, not to get hung up on how small your knowledge is. Take what you've got, put it into a form you understand, and really the key is, guys, if you truly understand it, can you explain it to a kid? Can you explain it to an elder and everybody in between? And do you have the courage, the balls to actually do that? Do you have to have the courage to share your awesomeness, your greatness? Okay? If you do it from a play space, this is why I love play, you don't have to get hung up on your limitations. You don't have to get hung up on, I don't got all the gears, I don't got all the knowledge, I haven't gone to university yet. If we wait for everybody to go through the full whare wānanga, we're going to be here for another 100 years before we actually have access to all the beautiful knowledge that's already out there. Look at the Mahi Brother Ricky Solomon thing, like just amazing stuff. What Papa Reri's sharing, what Ihirangi's sharing, what Kawetinim's sharing, right? Where nobody's made it to the level of our tupuna, right? Just the ones that were lucky enough to be under their belts, like the fellows that went through the whare wānanga. There's fellows like that, but they're small pockets. Sorry, whānau, our mission is massive, and we need as many kaiako and as many champions out there walking the talk as we possibly can get. And if we can get that happening, obviously we can then start opening up and sharing lots of different things. Now I'm kaka with reading time and stuff, guys, because I pretty much start and then I finish when it's done. So I'm probably already been raving on for ages, didn't even know right now. Where are we for time, Hayley?
I think kua tata pau te wā, kia tatou, do you have any closing things you want to say? Got 50 seconds, the breakout room.
Go and get it. Go get it. Take what it shoots you. Go and get that alphabet. Start playing with it. Go and find me on Facebook. When we search on Facebook, show me some stuff you've done with it. You might have found another way to do exactly the same thing. So, for instance, can you get names? So, can you do stuff like this where I'm connecting? You can. Trust me, you can. You play with it, and you end up with these cool little formations inside your fingers, and that's going to set you up mean for doing whai, because whai is all about how well we can control these babies. Ka pai? So, yep, just basically hope everyone got a bit of some goodness out of that. Been awesome to share some time with you. Have a great rest of your day. And then, yep, if you have any pātai, send it to Toi Tangata and I'll get it on their page or something.
Awesome. Thank you, Wiremu.